a story that this happened to me today, so I don't know if it's funny, but we're gonna try. So today I was hired to be a magician. Yes, I'm a magician, not a comedian. She's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's what that actually makes sense. So I was hired by Cape Town TV to do a little segment, a little magic segment. So I went to the studios and they were filming, and they're filming live. You can't mess this up. And I had my 5 minutes ready to go, like the comedian sit down and say, I know what I'm gonna do, it's perfect. But a producer came to me and he was like, okay, we're gonna go to commercial, but before that, can you do one thing really fast, really visual, just like 1 second, so that we can introduce you, and then you can do your thing after. And I'm like, sure, that's absolutely not a problem. So I put myself in front of the camera, I was listening to what was happening, I was waiting for this thing to happen. And then I heard the guest right before me. And there was a couple of people, and they were talking about suicide prevention. Because this week is suicide prevention, which is very important, and I respect it. And they were saying like, oh, you have to call this line, you have to, it's important, it's really important. The problem is, they finished talking, and then the camera cut to me, and I was like, so that happened.
Oh, look, it's the Italian guy who still doesn't want to quit YouTube and get a real job. You might as well subscribe to this channel because I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. After I told this story on stage, people came up to me and they was like, oh my God, it was such a funny story, but did it actually happen? Is it actually a true story? Did that thing actually happen to you? Or did you just like make it up, for the sake of comedy, for the sake of stand-up? And the answer is complicated. But first, I need to kind of show you what happened that day. So, roll the clip.
Hello, Nebula. Hello. Hi. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to leave you alone.
So, this keeps happening to me. I don't know why. I get double booked. So, okay, this is kind of interesting. As I'm gonna be live on Cape Town TV in about, 20 minutes. Yes, I think so. I'm gonna be live on Cape Town TV in about 20 minutes, and it's live, and so which means I can mess up. Also, or swear, which is even more. That's the most complicated part. They told me it's a program for youth. To me, it's always weird when they hire me for stuff that it's for kids, because I'm like, do you know me? Like, do you know me?
Do you guys want to see an Italian magic wand?
Yes.
No. Okay, you're not gonna have the best angle. You want to move. It's gonna be great. No, it's gonna be good.
So I'm gonna have to make sure that I don't mess up a magic trick and then I don't sway. On the other hand, immediately after, as soon as I'm done, I have to immediately run off and go all the way to my favorite Cuban restaurant in Cape Town called El Grayo, where I'm hosting a comedy night, open mic comedy night, where on the other hand, I think if you don't swear, you're disqualified. It's illegal. We are ready to go. Tonight I'm gonna do some crowd work, which I've never done before, so
Give me one weird object you have in your house. Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
Give me any object that comes into your mind. Huh?
My slap.
Of course, I
But if you're wondering, this is the second time that this happens to me, that I've been booked twice on the same day, and somewhere there's a link of the previous video, but you shouldn't watch that video now, you should watch this one. And then like, this isn't like a show where like if you missed the previous video you don't know what's going on. Like you can watch it out of order.
No recap.
It's yeah, you'll be fine. So let's get to the Cape Town TV studios. Let's see what's happening.
Prevention Day is not only a reflection on us, but our society and everything we can do as people. Is there any last words you might have for someone at home who is struggling with their own mental health?
That's it. That is the face of someone who has just realized how awkward it is going to be as soon as the camera cuts to me.
Is there anything that you'd like to show me in the next 20 seconds?
That's 20 seconds. I need to clear my throat before I start.
There's so much more to come right now. Quick advert for you and yours.
Okay, now that I've showed you what happened on that day, I quickly want to talk about a specific aspect of comedy that I truly find very interesting. And if you think it's interesting as well, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Comedy is not objective. That's why there's so many different styles of comedy. And that's why people laugh at certain things and don't laugh at other things, and they get offended for everything. My favorite style when it comes to stand-up comedy and also when it comes to performing magic is like storytelling. I don't really write jokes, I try to write stories. Even if I'm completely making something up, it still has to be somewhat believable, something that actually could happen in real life, or something that happened in real life and I'm just embellishing a little bit to make the punchline a bit more strong. A certain type of comedy comes from drama and time. So let me explain. When drama and time meet, they fall in love and then they decide to get married. And then on the first night, the night of the wedding, because drama and time are very conservative people, so they waited until, marriage finally, get to it. So when they get to it, time gets really aroused, and drama, who's obviously the woman in the situation, gets ready to
Stop it. Get some help.
You heard the sentence too soon. Oh, it's too soon. When someone makes a joke about like a tragedy or something that happened, and someone will say like, oh, it's too soon. Or have you heard the sentence like, oh, one day we'll laugh about this? Like something terrible happened between you and a friend of yours, like maybe you've been in an accident, or maybe you did something very stupid and you feel like shit, but then you're like, you know what, one day we're gonna laugh about this. That's the spot where most of the comedy comes out, when drama meets time, when there's been like enough time that you've been thinking about what happened to you and you're like, oh my god, that was hilarious. Enough time has passed that you don't even remember how the thing happened properly, but you remember how you felt. But the thing is this, the actual real moment that happened in real life is not as funny as the story that I presented on stage. And the major difference is the story that I'm telling on stage, while not being factual, as in like those are not exactly how this event happened, the way I'm telling the story on stage is how I felt. It's what I felt in that moment, is how I perceived that situation, and also why I find it to be incredibly funny, and I think it's worth it to bring us on stage. Is it a true story? Is it a false story? It doesn't matter. So I hope that this helps you if you ever trying to do stand up, or if you ever trying to writing stories. And that's all I have today. I know I was rambling a little bit, but I just wanted to share this moment and share what happened to me that day, which, by the way, this is the second time that I get double booked. I don't know why this keeps on happening to me, but I will see you on the next one. And I know that specifically you haven't subscribed yet. I can see you. I could just, it's like you have your hand is on the mouse, and the subscribe button is right there. Just click it. Just click all the buttons. What are you waiting for? And I will see you next time. Peace.